Gerber joins me now, CEO of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. If you could manage his $1 trillion, that'd probably be good for your business. But let's talk about Tesla if we can for a moment. And first on Tesla, can it benefit in any sort of lasting way from this little bump we're seeing in EVs with the rise in gas prices? Or is the damage too great, not just from his political involvement, but also just the Trump administration's opposition, really, to EVs?
Well, economics is economics, and it does drive consumer behavior. Mm-hmm. And with gas prices soaring, and in your spot before, you've got countries in serious, trouble because of the price of oil. Like, you have a solution, Teslas, and then on the low end, you have BYDs in the emerging markets. So there's no excuse for these countries that are not employing electric architectures for electric vehicles and charging, that now they have this oil problem and they go, oh, this sucks for us. Well, why don't you invest in the future, which is EV technology? So this is wonderful for Tesla as far as seeing oil prices high, and the cost of energy should be high because we need to protect the environment. It's Earth Day today, so I think it's ironic. On the other side of the coin, people hate Elon Musk so much that they don't want to buy his vehicles. So we're seeing the push and the pull of, I would rather save money and I'll just hold my nose and buy a Tesla. And I'm happy about it because I'm in the electric vehicle business. That's why I originally invested in Tesla, and I want to see them sell as many as possible. So that was the upside of the report, was that they are having more demand because of oil prices.
Yeah, and there are, of course, other EVs, and I hear that used EVs are doing particularly well in the midst of this. But when it comes to Tesla, I mean, how important are EVs to its present and future? Or do investors increasingly look at it more as a robot company? What?
Well, there's my belief system and what the sort of the public's belief system, which is a little bit different. I loved the EV business where you sell services and charging and battery storage. I had no problem with that business, and it's great. And I have no problem extending those brands into things like robotaxis, but that's not what the company wants to do. And because of Elon's divisiveness, it's very hard for them to sell products. That's the bottom line. So they've sort of just pivoted into this. Everything is about robotics. So we have the robot car that will drive you around, and eventually we'll have some sort of robot that will fold your clothes, which I think is about the least important thing that I'm worried about. So, I think investors who want the stock to go up want you to really buy into this amazing abundance future. And investors like myself that originally invested in Tesla because they make the best vehicles and there's just massive demand for electric vehicles globally, we're sort of pushed aside. So I found it ironic we're talking about EVs again, and I'm really excited about that because I think Tesla could be way more successful if they just focused on selling their EVs globally and really repaired the brand. And it's a great business.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about SpaceX because, I guess it's going to be the biggest ever. Does it still command that kind of, listen, it's obviously booming, and, so many government rockets and military, satellites rather, go up on SpaceX rockets. Is there any other competition there from others that are eating into its business, or is it dominance kind of unchallenged?
No, they definitely have competition in space. And one of them is, Amazon. Jeff Bezos is not just rolling around in his billionaire boat, happy with his wife. He's like, I want to launch rockets like Elon. And he just landed a rocket like Elon has done, so that I give him credit. And competition does create results, actually. So I'm happy about it. And then you have Northrop and the Artemis people and the traditional sort of NASA people that are also doing a lot of things in space. And I think there's a lot of new players in space like Rocket Labs and some other companies that. So, I personally think space is an extremely tough way to make money. And I get when you're government sponsored by SpaceX, where you have your commercial business with Starlink, which is just a phenomenal business. And then you have their government, like launching business, which is a good business because they're very, very good at this. So SpaceX is a unique asset. Our biggest issue is the valuation seems crazy. Now, because I own SpaceX, I'm not so sad about that, when it goes public. But as an individual investor who might be buying post IPO, I would be very cautious about buying in right at the IPO. And we typically tell our clients to wait about 6 months after IPO when all the lockups expire for employees. Because remember, there's thousands of employees at SpaceX that have never really had a chance to sell their stock. And we work with a whole chunk of them, and they want to sell some of their stock. So, you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, you're going to see that with a lot of these companies after these big IPOs.
That's right.
In the AI space. Ross Gerber, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you.